This is Anything and Everything with Britt, sponsored by Evry. Hello. Hi, besties. Welcome to the first official podcast episode of the Anything and Everything podcast by me, Britt, powered/sponsored by my company, Evry. Basically, I love to talk, especially I have so many thoughts in my head all the time. I'm like, why not just verbalize them? Why not start a podcast? And I thought this would be a fantastic, fabulous, A1, excellent steak sauce idea. And that's exactly what we're doing. Have no fear, this is not just me talking about Evry, which is the best, high quality, cutest jewelry on the market. No. This is going to be a lifestyle podcast. That's why the name is not Evry. That's why it's Anything and Everything by Britt. And it'll be powered by Evry. But the base of this podcast is very lifestyle. So if you like health, like mental health, working out, just in general, life kind of stuff, fashion, makeup, cute stuff, all that stuff, this podcast is for you. We're also going to be hopefully having some really fun guests in the near future on this podcast. And yeah, that's basically what it's going to be. So if you just like to hear someone speak to you, as I do, I love to use podcasts to help me go to sleep, especially podcasts like this because they're not draining at all. They're very lighthearted, fun, feel good, and they really help me go to bed because I'm an overthinker. So I feel like when I have something to listen to that's not going to push me into anxiety, something like this is very, very helpful for me. So I feel like if you listen to me when you're trying to go to bed, I'll be honored. Listen to me in the shower, you're driving, working out, trying to do homework, whatever the case may be, I will be freaking honored. I usually swear, but I'm really proud of myself that I said freaking instead of fucking. Anyway, I apparently want to swear, so that's awesome. So this is the first official episode, and I'm really excited. So like I said, these are my favorite type of podcasts. I love to speak, and I always listen to them, and I'm like, why not just make our own? And that's exactly what we are doing here. And as the title insinuates, anything and everything, nothing is off the table. We're going to talk about so many fun and amazing topics, and I'm really excited. So I just want to tell you guys a few things about myself so you guys could maybe know a bit more about me and what you're going to do. Also, I have a speech impediment, so we're not gonna bloop or bleep those out. We're just gonna keep rolling with the film. Basically, my name's Brittany. I'm 24 years old. I'm born on May 31st, 1998. So yeah, 1998. I was gonna say, I thought I said 1988. 1998. I'm a Gemini. Don't hate me. I'm an amazing, nice Gemini. I graduated in marketing university a few years ago. And then Evry started. My family has been doing jewelry for 4 generations, so I have a lot of experience in jewelry itself. I just started working out recently. I have some Frenchie dogs. I live at home. I love sushi. I don't have a lot of friends. I love to travel. I'm single. I kind of love fashion, but I really like being comfortable. Obviously love jewelry. And yeah, I feel like I'm very basic in a way, but that's what you get. So for today's first episode of our podcast, now that you guys know somewhat about me. Oh, and also most important is I love to work. I work all the time. Now, going into the first preface of this amazing, show-stopping, stunning queen, 11 out of 10 podcast, I put up a little link on Instagram, a Google form. And you know what? Google forms go hard. They go crazy. And we asked people to tell us their most horrifying romantic/love stories and their most romantic/love stories. That makes sense. So basically we told them, tell us that made no sense. Sorry, your craziest dating story and or the cutest, most romantic story. So 2 very big extremes. And we put up a little poll and we're like, okay, whoever has the craziest story, we're going to give them a $50 gift card. So we have those 2 little extremes that we're working with. So this is also a sign for you to follow us on Instagram at Evry because we do crazy giveaways and you'll be seeing all podcast stuff related, so it's going to be really, really fun. Anyways, I have about 30 screenshots on my phone and I'm going to be blindly reacting to these. So let me be honest with you guys. I have not seen or heard the stories. I just put up the link, but I did not have access to the Google form. That was Mel. She's behind me right now. And she's our videographer and all things production, all that good stuff. So she's the one that sent me these right now, right before I started the podcast. So I have no idea what I'm about to get myself into. And that also means that we barely have any structure because I don't know what I'm going to say or have nothing strategically planned beforehand. So I feel like the best thing we could do is just like starting to get into it. And I feel like the first one I have on my phone is the most romantic, but I think I'm going to start with the most crazy dating story. So again, these are all kept anonymous. So let's start. Number 1. This guy took me out last Valentine's Day and brought me to this super high-end restaurant and ended up paying for our $500 bill. Okay, nice. Then he brought me back to meet his parents. Keep in mind, this is our first date. And then we go then we go out bowling. And we go back to his house to hang out for him to only ask me if my best friend was single and if she would be into him. Like TF, question mark, question mark, question mark. I feel like at least you would know that he's kind of a gentleman for your best friend, if that makes sense. Like at least maybe he'd be a good romantic candidate. I feel like I would only be like, I'd be like extra bummed out if I was into him beforehand. And then like, he's like, oh, I'm into your best friend. But I feel like, and like, I would love to know like how many, if it's like only a first date, it's like, I feel like there could be worse. Like at least you got like a nice dinner out of it. You spent some time, you got out of the house, you shared some human interaction, you laughed, hopefully. I feel like that's like not super bad in the sense of like, it wasn't toxic. I just think it honestly could be worse. And maybe if you weren't into him, maybe you could like, it could be like a funny story. Like maybe him and your best friend get married and like, this is like a funny maid of honor story. I don't know. Is that just me? I'm trying to like look at the bright side. Call me crazy, call me delusional. I just feel like either never talk to him again or maybe see if your friend's interested. It really depends. Unless you like start like doing some like sexual stuff with him, I think that could get really weird really quickly if like your best friend was gonna go for him. But it was just like a little innocent first date, getting to know each other. And I'm also just curious why he just didn't ask you up front if like your best friend was down. Why would he do all of that? So maybe like he's a nice guy or crazy. I don't know. Okay, this is actually really long. I was in a long distance relationship for almost a year. I was young and naive. This relationship was very toxic and I regret some of the things I did while in this relationship. My parents are Filipino and strict, so I kept this relationship a secret till one day I was washing the dishes and was thinking about him. I loved him so much at that time that I thought it's time for my parents to know. So I stopped what I was doing and sent my mom a whole paragraph explaining that I have a boyfriend. She was at work at that time and her response was, Usap Teo after work. It means let's talk after work. I knew that she was against it and asked me to break up with him. I was young and was only thinking about myself. I didn't listen and ignored and didn't talk to her for a week because of that. That's the part I regret. Thinking back, I was disrespectful and I know I hurt her. After a couple of weeks, she couldn't do anything to make me break up with him, so she just left it. A couple months later, I found out that he was cheating on me with someone that kind of looks like me. And I took him back. Oh my gosh. Everything got so toxic, but I kept coming back to him because he would threaten me that he would kill himself if I leave him, and I was so stupid to fall for that. This happened way too many times. It got to the point that I was crying every day and was really done with the whole relationship and wanted to break up for real. I did, and the next day he texted me saying he's at my city and was showing videos and proof. Our mutual friends were also posting on their stories. Again, I believed it. I felt like we could work out since we'll be together in person. But this motherfucker lied and had his friends lie to me too. After that, I really just cut him off. Oh, and I also think he was using his mom's Facebook account to message me because there's just no way his mom would say that his son needs me. Like, be fucking for real. I fell for all those. Oh my god. Okay, so first of all, I feel like with the whole like parent situation, like, you know, the whole term like moms know best, I feel like that also would better apply in a way if you told her about the relationship and you're saying it was toxic and like she would say to leave him. But I feel like it kind of only makes sense that like there was no valid reason besides not a valid reason, but there's no like reason that your mom was giving to you besides that she was just being strict for you to leave him. So I feel like naturally you just kind of like go against that and just like keep dating him anyway, even though it was shitty what was going on. So I feel like maybe if you would open up more, which I know can be difficult, and your mom said to leave him, maybe that would give you more of an incentive to kind of leave. That makes sense, because if your mom was just saying leave him because she's strict and like you're young and whatever, that I don't think that would be enough of a sign for you to leave him. But I feel like maybe if you had spoken to her more openly, which I know could be difficult, then maybe she could have like angled it a different way. Also, the entire that he like wants to kill himself thing, I feel like that's such a difficult situation, because you are not responsible for someone else's happiness or kind of sadness and things like that. And I feel like even though it's like crazy what he was going through, whether it's like true or not, I feel like what you can do is maybe like help him and guide him, even if he was not the best to you, if you want to, and then kind of just like leave, or you don't really own anything. It's really kind of how you see the situation. But it's kind of sad, because I feel a lot of people use mental health when it's like fake to them and like leverage it so people feel bad in that way, which is kind of sucky. And when people are actually struggling, it's like more difficult to believe, because some people just like use it for like leverage in a situation like this. So I feel like you definitely should have, I know, like I said, it's definitely easier said than done if you're not going to go back to the person, things like that. And I think at the end of the day, sometimes it's like better that you learn by yourself. Obviously, if like there's a lot of like abuse, like verbal and physical, I think people need to get involved. But a lot of the time, it's like you learn for yourself, and you know, your friends could talk to you off their experience. But I feel like until it happens to you, or until you go through it, there's like I feel like it's just for me. There's no one or like nothing that can kind of tell me, you know, because you always think, oh, she's different, he's different, like, oh, that won't happen to me, until it does. So I feel like sometimes just like going through it yourself could be a good lesson, and you'll take that with you in your future healthy relationships. So I think that sometimes, like I said, if it's not like at a toxic, really, really bad level, sometimes just to go through it yourself and go through the motions and go through the experience could be like a good life lesson. And I feel like situations within themselves are not positive or negative. It's kind of like what we attribute to them. So I feel like maybe through this, you know, like he was lying to you, whatever, but I feel like now, you know, you got closer to your parents, or your mom specifically, because you told her about your relationship. So I feel like that maybe have like broken down a barrier between you guys and your relationship. You matured a bit, because you even said that you regretted not speaking to your mom, and you now think and know for the future to like what kind of guy you want and like what you would not tolerate yourself. So I feel like this situation is very of a kind of like a good-ish learning experience. Okay, should we go to like, okay, let's go to a cute romantic. Okay, this one's shorter. This may not seem romantic or anything. However, a few years ago, I had gotten knee surgery from a soccer injury. I don't know if I said injury. And I was using crutches for the first few weeks. And my ex had went to Build-A-Bear and got me a bunny, and also got a cast and crutches for it, and put the cast on the same day I got operated, and even signed the little cast. It was actually so cute. I wonder why you guys broke up in the first place, because that's actually so freaking cute. Like, we stan him, but I wonder if like the breakup ended badly and like he did something, he wronged you anyway, and like that's why he's doing this, or maybe he was like on like good terms. I wonder if you guys think that you and an ex could be on like friendly terms, and if so, or I feel like even if you think you can be, I think that definitely has an expiry date. So I'm just kind of curious of like why and how you guys broke up and where he came out of. But regardless, it's a very cute gesture. And by the way that this was written, I don't think that he did her dirty in any way, because then I feel like it wouldn't have been a cute gesture. I don't think she would have wrote that in. So really cute, 10 out of 10 story. Let's go to the next one. My psycho ex-BF and I went to dinner. He decided it would be really fun to steal the giant steak knife from the table, hid in his pants, and then placed it in the center console. This man then proceeded to fly me out all the way to Nunavut in the middle of nowhere, then broke up with me and ghosted me. I made $1,500 to fly home to Winnipeg, then home to Saskatchewan, all by myself. Very sad and very single. I'm like a little nervous about the knife. That is like a red flag. I feel like hiding a console, I feel like if you would have told me, I don't know, maybe he's like a culinary chef and like he really, really wants this steak knife because it cuts steak really nicely and fine and all that kind of stuff, I would say, okay, maybe. But just sealing it and storing it in a console, my eyes right now are literally just seeing red. And then, honestly, girl, like, I don't know, I feel like it's too petty. I would say I would like invoice him for the flight. But by the looks of it, this guy's probably not paying. Been there, done that, flew places, paid on my own. I feel like, again, great learning experience, but I feel like it could have got dangerous with the knife in the console. Like, that is, like, is it bad? Because I'm not focused right now on, like, her flying alone. I'm just, like, feeling a steak knife. I'm just failing to wrap my head around that. At least, okay, but he did fly you out to Nunavut, but then broke, that's like leaving you stranded somewhere, that's like a huge red flag. Like, you're not gonna fly someone out, someone they don't know, even if they've been there before, it's like, no, this is like your city, on your territory. That is just fucked up, man. $1,500 to fly home? Jesus, okay, no. I've seen her when I see ghost this man, girl, you could do better. I'm gonna go back to a romantic one now. My partner got me a large bouquet of flowers on the anniversary of my dad's passing. Aw. He then got them molded in resin and sealed and had it made into a set of earrings and a matching heart necklace. Now I can wear these pieces and have a part of my boyfriend with memory of my dad too. He's the best person in the world. That is so cute and thoughtful. Especially with the jewelry part, because you could wear it every single day. That is so cute. You see, isn't it crazy how like the previous story is about like this crazy psycho man stealing a knife, and then like the next story is this guy who got a bouquet of flowers in honor of her father's passing, and in honor, I don't know if that's like wrong to say, in honor, in like memory, sorry, maybe memory is a better idea, a better word, in memory of her dad's passing. It's just like so crazy how people could just like have the craziest of like different experiences with people. But I love that for you, girl. Honestly, wear those earrings, wear that necklace. I feel like that is so sentimental and such a cute gift, because I feel like that's something you're gonna cherish forever and always. And I think that's like the cutest thing ever. Okay. My craziest dating story, let's go. Matched with a guy on Bumble who looked really genuine and sweet. Fun fact, actually, before I continue, I've never gone on a date with anyone from a dating app. I've never really used a dating app besides like one, but even like then again, I've never actually met up with someone from that. Anyway, he lived about a mile away from me, and we agreed to our first date at a nice restaurant in town. Okay, I feel like a mile away, like that's like pretty close, similar-ish community. An hour before the date, I get a knock at the door. I answer and look confused as he stands at my door. Whoa. How he knew my address, I will never know. Turns out he can't drive, so he wanted to get a lift with me. So I drove us to the restaurant, and we have our food, which was lovely. He seemed really nice, and we were getting along well. He asked for the bill, which was a lot due to the wine. We agreed that he would pay, so we called the waiter back over to pay. Just as the waiter pulls out the card machine, he gets up and runs, taking off his coat. I'm left with a heavy bill to pay, and I never heard from him again, despite multiple attempts to contact him. I feel like we should have never contacted him. Okay, let's break this down. Bumble, you know who's paying for this date? Bumble. We need to call Bumble right now. Like, what if you just call Taylor up? Like, that's how I feel with Bumble. If I had a connection at Bumble, I'd be calling them, telling them to refund your damn dinner, because that is horrible. The fact that he showed up at your house, I feel like maybe given a heads up, said something about it. How do you know where you live? Like, that is, I don't know, if like maybe like mutual friends, but even at that, as a first date, even like for 10 dates, I would never just like show up at someone's house without them knowing. Really weird. I'm kind of creeped out for you, girl, how he knows your address. Okay, the lift thing is like, I mean, it could be worse, and maybe he's like transparent about that, like he have a license, whatever. Okay, not terrible. He asked you out on the date, which would make sense for him to pay, or at least, I don't know. He left you there, and I wonder, girl, like, did he call the Uber or like a Lyft while he was doing that to you? Because he didn't take an Uber or Lyft there. All of a sudden, he knows how to use these things and run away. Like, girl, what? This guy is scary. I'll report him on freaking Bumble. That is just, no. This one, I don't know what to say to. I don't even think contact him. I would just like leave that be. I just think you gotta just take the loss on that one. You have to pay the wine and the dinner, because there's no way unless you reach out to Bumble, make it like a TikTok video or something and tell them they gotta refund you for that, because that is just terrible. But at least you live and you learn, and you know what? In a few years, or maybe even a week after, this could be a funny story. Think about it. You invite your girls over for a little girls' night. You get some takeout. And, like, this is a funny story in the end, you know? Like, the only thing that gets in the way of, like, you... Well, not the only thing, but, like, gets in the way of, like, you and people and enjoying things and apologizing and saying and doing. A lot of time, it's your ego. Oh, I'm not going to apologize first because they did this. Or I'm going to say this because this, you know? So, you know what? If you went into this and... you know, big ego, it's like, you can just like laugh at it. So think of it like that. It's like a fun story time. And girl, do a little get right thing on TikTok, story time. You're sure to go viral. Okay, another one. So I dated someone for 5 years and my relationship was going fine until I went to Europe to visit his family. I like I told you, I don't know what these are, but I see Mel in front of me and she's like, has like her her hand on her mouth because she's laughing because this one's really fun. Anyway, so I dated someone for 5 years, relationship was going fine until we went back to Europe to visit his family. Okay. He came back, was acting weird, so I kept asking what's wrong, and he said nothing. So I finally give up on asking, and a couple months later go by, and he finally admits to me that he cheated on me with his cousin who lives in Europe. Enough said. Why would this guy throw away a 5-year relationship for his cup? Like, at this point, are you mad or you're more like I would like, even like if it was like with another girl, you'd obviously still be grossed out, but like angry. With this, are you just like more grossed out? Because that's like I don't know. I know people who like will sometimes take back, like not person, but like I know like whatever, like people will take people back if like they cheat or like things like that. Like it's not always like black and white where it's like someone cheats and it's over. But like for this, it's like I don't think I can go near him again. It's like that's like incest. Okay. I don't even know how to react. I don't know if it's like grossed out, mad, like that's disgusting. Like, imagine you're like pregnant or something. Like, okay, I'm actually curious to know like how she reacts. Like, I wish I could get a response after. Maybe we could like message them back after and just like find out, because that is crazy, wacky. See, like, why can't her man just have gone to Europe and brought her back like a teddy bear, like our guys from a few stories ago? Like, why did you have to go for your cousin, man? Like, what the heck? You are safe. Next one, okay, like something goes short. My BF and I went to a Christmas light show, and the couple next to us started fighting, and it got so bad to the point the girl threw a rock at him, but she missed, and the rock hit our car window. Okay, at least this was like nothing between you and the guy, so I feel like it could be worse. I also think that's like so awkward because like that couple is probably like going through it, and then like the last thing she probably would have wanted was to like have issues with someone else, and like now that she threw the rock at your window, now she created more problems for herself. That's just a little like awkward, and I wonder if like how that works. Like, did you just like ask her like pay you back, like Venmo you or something? Like, how did you? As I get this, as I'm reading, I get a notification from Raya. More member recommendations are available now. Like, that would be kind of funny. Maybe I should do like an episode of like me, like hearting or like not hearting people. I hope that you're okay from The Rock, though. Not The Rock. The Rock. Like the rock that she threw. Next one. The one time my date literally told me about how he had broken up with his ex-girlfriend right before he met up with me and then cried over at dinner for the next 45 minutes. Funniest part is our names were the same thing, just spelled differently. Weirdest part, she broke up with him because he had hooked up with her gay brother, but yet she still sees him. Beyond me, but deaf nuts. What? Okay, let me, like, some of these stories I have to, like, not disinfect, deconstruct. Because there are just so many, even though it's, like, four sentences, I gotta, like, go sentence by sentence. So I feel like the same name thing is a very, like, con people. Sometimes people, like, date someone that looks very similar to the person they dated before, or, like, very similar characteristics, something like that, because they're not over the person. Or it's also just, like, their look. Like, some of my guy friends, they have, like, a very special, like, specific look. Like, for example, blonde hair, blue eyes, like, this body type, these kind of interests. So sometimes maybe it looks like they're going for the same person, but, like, the name thing, I don't think I could ever, I don't know if I could date someone, like, with the same name, especially with, like, a longer relationship. Like, maybe if, like, I was talking to a guy for a few weeks, it didn't work out, and then, like, the next guy or, like, whatever, something like that, they have the same name. Maybe not. But, like, if I was in an actual relationship, I feel like same name would be a little funny, haha. No, not funny, haha. Funny, weird. Also, in case you're wondering, I'm on TikTok all the time because it's, like, part of my job. So I do a lot of TikTok references. The crying at dinner, I think I would have just, like, I don't know, because if I wasn't, like, into him, I feel like maybe I would just be like, oh, are you okay? And become, like, a therapist. Because ask anyone I know, I love to ask questions and, like, thought-provoking questions and, like, make someone think. So maybe I could have helped them in a way, like I could have turned to a therapist. But I feel like if you were not down for that at all, I would have, like, got up and left. Also, can you see my feet in the camera? Because I just changed how I was sitting. Anyway, that's a little weird. Oh, you see my feet? Okay, no free feet content. No free feet content for anybody. My feet are not even that nice. So fun fact, my mom was like, you should get a foot job. I don't know what, like, if that even is a thing. It's like a nose job, boob job, but that's just not a thing. So anyway, okay, the crying part. And I think the gay brother part that, like, so maybe he was, like, looking for new friends, because if he's not straight, maybe he was, or no, but that wouldn't mean necessarily not straight. He can be also just, like, well, there's, like, so many terms, like pansexual, bisexual. So he is still very much well being to girls. So that was not mentioned. So maybe he's into several genders, which is okay. So maybe I think, though, if I was the girl and he hooked up my brother, I would not be okay with it because it's my brother. But if you don't care, then, but even regardless, like, he blew it because of everything else before that. So that was just a lot to take in. I feel like you could obviously date someone, because I wonder how that works. Because, like, let's just say I was into only guys, but then the guy that I was dating was into guys and girls. Like, that's still a possibility. Like, that could still work out, I guess. I feel like everyone would need to accept different terms or whatever. But I feel like with the brother, I feel like it just, like, shows out his character. Like, that's just, like, weird. So it's a no from me, and I hope it was a no from you.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I need to let you in on a little secret. If you're looking for high quality yet affordable jewelry, you have to check out my brand, Evry Jewels. We have over 4 generations of family jewelry experience and over 17,000 plus 5-star reviews. We have so many different styles to choose from, so you know that there's gonna be something for everyone. Make sure to use my code PODCASTLOVE for an extra 50% off your order. Check us out at www.evryjewels.com.
Let's go back to the cute romantics one, because, like, now I need to, like, the toxic ones are a little, like, No, gotta go back to romantic. One time, my boyfriend surprised me with all my favorite things on one date, and it was truly the best day of my life. We woke up and slept in, of course, something we both loved dearly. And then we went on a drive through a lovely small town and grabbed coffee together at a cute coffee shop. Another thing we both love to do. We then went, we went all the way to his place, which nearby was a drive-in movie theater. We first went out for an amazing taco dinner, as that's my favorite meal, and then we went to a drive-in together, where we sat in the bed of his truck and watched the movie together. Okay, that's like the cutest, that's like a Miley Cyrus, like, when she goes back to her hometown, like the Hannah Montana movie. That night, the stars were out too. Okay, this is like so cute. The stars were out too, so we got to enjoy that together before the movie began. He knew that a drive-in was my dream date, and him planning the entire day made me feel so special and loved. He left me my favorite sweater of his for the evening, and then on our drive back home, we pulled over to an empty parking lot and danced our favorite music outside his truck. Truly the best and most romantic date I've ever been on, and I love everything. I love him every time I think of it. Wouldn't want anyone else to be my future life partner. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh, like, this sounds literally right out of a movie. And I feel like this is like a sign to never settle, because that is so cute and thoughtful. And these things, like, don't need to cost an arm and a leg. Like, especially for someone like me, I don't like, for example, designer things. Sure, I bought them when I was younger, but luckily I kind of got out of that phase pretty early in my life. And I feel as if these kind of gifts, you know, driving around, dancing, like watching a movie, even like going to dinner, the dinner doesn't have to be an expensive place. I feel like if you're going to dinner, if you're spending time with a person, especially now when I go out with my friends, I don't try to use my phone a lot because I want to enjoy their presence. I want to like shut off and shut down from work. So I feel like doing these things is easy in a way where it doesn't have to cost so much money, and it's really just the, you know, meaningfulness behind doing these kind of activities with someone, and it just like shows that you're caring and you're listening. And I feel like listening to someone these days is very, very important, and to feel heard and listened to. And that is just like I wish girls, send me pictures. That is like so cute. We stand you and your man. I love that. Okay, now we're gonna do. Whoa, some of these are really long. That's why I'm like scared. Okay, let's do another crazy one. This story is with a guy I met on Tinder. Our first date we planned, more like I planned it all, to go out for lunch at this really nice place called Earl's. I've heard that before. Once we got there, he was being really weird out of the blue. Was just looking at his phone, and was looking at me. We eventually get our food. We eat, and he started to eventually be more happy and talkative. Maybe he was just hangry. I don't know. I was really nervous, so I went to the bathroom. When I came out, everything was clear on the table, even though I didn't finish my meal. I said to him, "Oh, what happened to my food?" And he just said, "You were finished, right?" I was like, no. He said, "Oh, well, that was enough for you," and looked me up and down. I was like, "Okay, question mark." Once the bill came to the waitress, she's paying, by the way. That was my face. She felt like an emoji. Not even a split. I had to pay it all. I was like, okay, whatever. Then I asked, what are we going to do next? And he was like, oh, we can go for a drive. I said, okay, bet, let's do it. We are driving around until we got to the top of the mountain. And when we got there, I thought a kiss would be nice, but he was so far away from me, and I was sure he wasn't going to do it. So I leaned in, and suddenly he puked all over me. By the way, I had all white clothes too. I wanted to die. I said to him, drive me home now, and I also had to throw away all my clothes from Aritzia. These just keep getting like crazier and crazier. Another one that we have to unpack here, because there is a lot. Number one, I was thinking maybe at first it was like going kind of shitty. Maybe he was hangry, you know, like I get hangry too, like I am right now when, you know, like you're hungry. And maybe he was shy at first, and like the food was like a nice icebreaker. So until there, I was kind of like fine about it. But then this is when I was like, no. Well, first of all, he didn't ask you, like I love food. Do not tell me that my food is done before I am done. So the fact that like you had no idea that you come back and your food wouldn't be there, no thank you. I thought that's where the bad part would end. So I would just like be annoyed about that. But the fact that he said, do you really need more, and looked you up and down, that I would have just left. Like, I don't know why you want to drive with this guy, because, oh, no. That is, like, way too far. Like, I would maybe understand if, like, you were together and you went on, like, a diet because, or, like, you want to lose weight for your own health, and, like, you're on a fitness journey, and then maybe it was said in a way where it was like, oh, maybe if you're like trying to get more toning and definition on your body, then like your boyfriend would kind of be like, maybe don't eat as many of those carbs. But I don't know, like very specific situation. But first date, this is the way that it was said, all X's. I would have just like, I would not even paid the bill. I wouldn't even let it get to that. I would have just left, taken my stuff. Because also, you paid the entire bill and then you wanted to go on a drive with or do something with him. See, that's why my necklace is backwards. Hold on. Sometimes us as, women, we gotta be more assertive. We gotta put our foot down. Gotta be a little more like manly in that sense, if that's what we want to call it, as being manly. No. You know what? Our next podcast needs to be like something like woman empowerment. Like, tell us when you're a bad bitch. How people saying, when was the time that like a guy is saying you, or a girl is saying to you, or a friend, or anyone, or in a situation, you were like, I'm gonna be a fucking bad bitch. Because that's the energy that we need in 2023, ladies, okay? 2023, we are not taking this shit no more. Okay. Next. Basically, my crazy ex-boyfriend had some minor issues. When he was angry, he would say, leave my house. One day, I seen him through the crack of my door. Basically, instead of actually leaving, he would sit and watch my reaction. One day, I followed to my living room to try and stop him. He was hunched over, hiding behind my couch. He never explained himself or really why he was there. I had not to see how insane that was. He also liked to just run out of the house and come back and act like nothing happened. Maybe he needs some like anger issue tips or something, or not to be a weirdo tips 101. No, weirdo is not the right word because I'm a weirdo. That's not like weirdo. That's like not normal, but again, like normal, I'm not normal either, but I don't do those things. Like that's a bit like psycho. Unhinged. Thank you, Mel. Unhinged, unhinged, I don't know, behavior. Again, I feel like as a reader in this situation, these stories seem even crazier because I'm reading from an outsider perspective and I'm not the one who's going through it. Obviously, there's more feelings involved between them, so it's not so easy to, when you like someone and like something they do might not be as weird, but then when you're over them or when you didn't like them, they can be kind of deal breakers. So I feel like when I'm an outsider reading these, it just kind of feels like very clean cut, like just leave him or just do this. But it's always, or it's like never like that in a way because there's so many more factors when you're in that situation. But again, if you girls are listening to this podcast, I always kind of want to be like a role model to you guys or in a way. And if these things are happening to you guys, don't be afraid to, speak up and take charge of your own life. I know, like I said, it's probably easier said than done, but definitely don't stand for this shit. Okay, next one. So I was dating this guy, right? Not going to say his name, but we had been together for like 4 months. I was around his house and I said, do you want to go upstairs? He said, sure, go up. I'll be up in a sec. I was lying on the bed when he brought his cat in and said, do you want to have a little threesome? I'm feeling kinky. I left there and then. I think I'll call the police. Like the poor animal. At least, okay. I am a very prude girl, very conservative, and it's very kind of funny because my personality is I'm very energetic and out there, but I'm also very conservative, like other things. So personally, I don't ever see myself having a threesome. Like, nothing wrong with it. Anyone can do whatever they want. But that's when there's like consent and humans. I really hope the cat got a new home. I just hope that like there was justice served for this cat. Because God knows what would happen. Like what happens between him and the cat when you're not there. This story is a little more disturbing, I would say. Like, no. I really hope the cat is in good hands right now because that poor damn thing, that cat, like, no. That's disturbing. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Oh my god, I didn't read the last part, but seriously, the most insane thing that's happened to me was when a guy took me to a nice restaurant, acted super nice, got arrested right in front of me for selling drugs. Oh. Okay. But mama, I'm in love with the criminal. That's my Britney Spears. That was my Britney Spears moment. But in all seriousness, I feel like I'm actually kind of scared because I'm sure like you barely know this guy, and he's just getting arrested right in front of you. A little scary. I want to read some of the long ones, but I'm not sure if they're too long, you know. Okay, I'm gonna do another romantic one. My current boyfriend I met 7 years ago in high school, or 11th grade year. We met in math class. One day we just hit it off and started to talk more and more. I'd walk home from school because my house was literally down the road, but he drove because he lived a little further away. We started to talk more and it was kind of getting serious. Then one day after school, he asked me if I wanted to ride home. I said sure. So once I got to his car, he had red roses and my favorite white chocolate ready to ask me to be his girlfriend. Of course I said yes. And after that, he took me to his family's lake where he had a whole picnic set up on the dock for us. And we've been together ever since. That's my favorite date memory we have because it's crazy how young we were and how much effort he put in just being my girlfriend. That had never happened before. That's so cute. I also love white chocolate. White chocolate is superior. That is so cute. You see, if he wanted to, he would. Because, and especially in the beginning, putting in that effort is, a green flag, but, hoping that they kind of continue doing that because I don't want you to be like wowed off your feet for, like one romantic gesture and then you're kind of holding on to that throughout the entire relationship. So hopefully, not that he's this every week, but hopefully he's kind of kept that really cute, romantic, special part of your relationship because that's so cute. And like I said, it doesn't have to be so expensive, but that is so cute. I love. Okay, I'm gonna start from the bottom again. Let's go back to crazy. One time a boy asked me on a date on Valentine's Day. We went to a fancy restaurant in Malibu and ended up having a great conversation. However, when it came time to pay, he said he used to grab his wallet in his car, so we went to the restaurant. 20 minutes passed and he still wasn't back, but I waited a little more because I thought he couldn't find it. After 30 minutes, I called him, but it wasn't going through. Turns out he had left and blocked me and I was going to pay all of myself. But what's the point of guys especially doing this? Grow up, be a man, either say, hey, maybe go for the date and then text her or call her and say, hey, I had a great time, but unfortunately, it's just not for me or whatever. What is the point of inviting a girl out and then just pulling some childish shit? That I'll never understand. Either go through the date and text her after or call her, or even just at the end, say something to be look, I don't want to waste any more of your time because everyone's time is precious and valuable. Why would you even leave her there? That is just horrible. I'm not a fan of this man. But no. So, my junior year of high school, I started dating this guy named Carson. We were really good together, but then a year and a half later, he decided to call it quits. His mom actually ended up being the one to have to break up with me because he couldn't bear to do it. Oh my gosh. So I got a text from his mom out of the blue saying, hey, Carson wants to break up. I went to call Carson himself, but I was already blocked on everything. So I let to communicate through his mom. To top it off, 2 days after, he called his coworker, who I was majorly worried about. They hung out after work from like 12 to 1 a.m. He would turn off his location. And every time I confronted him about it, he would be like, I don't know, my phone's probably broken, like, babe, question mark, question mark. Okay, a month later, he texts me and begs for me back. But the second I declined him, bam, he's back with his coworker again. Basically, never date a mama's boy with a high ego. He's a Pisces. You see, I feel like being a mama's boy versus having respect for your mom is like two different things. Because I feel like it's a green flag when he gets along nice with his family, and obviously if his family isn't toxic, because obviously I'm sure there's people out there who are great people and just their parents just were not the best with them or for them or whatever. So that's like a different example or circumstance. But I'm saying for the most part, when a guy has like a good respectful relationship with his mom, even like his sisters or like his friends that are girls, I would say that's a green flag. But honestly, grow up. Like if you can go be with your coworker 2 days after, you can have the balls, you can grow a pair and literally do the breakup on your own. But I would obviously never take him back if I were you, obviously for several reasons, but one of them being that he would only come back to, you see, like that term, they always come back, is so prevalent or relevant in this exact situation, because he literally just came back to her. And good for you, girl, for not taking him back, because that takes a lot of standing your ground type shit. Because I feel like a lot of girls might think in the back, oh, he's changed, oh, he's this. So good for you for standing your ground, like I said. But honestly, that is like the biggest ick. Like as soon as the mother's involved, I'll find my way out to the door. Because no thank you. When I was in high school, my favorite movie was The Notebook. On my 1 year with my then boyfriend, we went to dinner and a movie. He surprised me renting out the entire movie theater and by paying him to play The Notebook for us. So sweet. That's like, you see, it's always just like, this is my favorite thing, and he did this. They listen, they do nice things. That, like, why is it just so hard? Really cute, really cute, really cute, really cute. My boyfriend now is perfect in my eyes. I'm very glad I met him. The cutest thing he's ever done is on our 1 year anniversary. He wrote me a book. It's a legit hardcover book with a beautiful cover of us. And he gathered all of our memories and then put them all in one place. I could tell how much effort he put in, and it warmed my heart. It's truly the best gift I've ever received. Again, sentimental. I'm seeing a pattern in all of these. It's nowhere saying he bought me a $2,000 bag. Nothing I'm saying that can't be sentimental and cute, but I'm saying doing nice things for someone is more to me on the thoughtful side. My boyfriend's grandma once walked in on me giving him a BJ. Maybe she didn't see, maybe she didn't know. I wish this girl would have finished the story being like, oh, then she said this. Like, I kind of want to know, like, how this all played. Like, I love details and stories. So I wish she would have said, like, oh, then I had to get up and leave. And then, like, I wonder if they stay together. Like, that's really funny. That's funny. My ex used to call his dick Mr. Man. Girl, Mr. Run. I would run. I would call myself Mrs. Run because I would run away from Mr. Man. You know? Was at this guy's house. It was middle of the night, and he gets a call and goes out to the kitchen. Then comes back acting weird. So I asked him what happened and if he's okay and what's going on. And he said one of his friends called and was having serious mental health struggles, and he needed to go to them. So of course I was super understanding and told him he should go. He asked me to drop him off on my way home. Wasn't planning on leaving, but apparently he was kicking me out. So I agreed to take him. Come to find out, the friend, quote unquote, was his ex. And she's in fact not having mental health issues. She just wanted to come over, and I literally dropped him off at her place. Why can't, like, honesty, just, like, open up, like, I don't know, I like, the whole, like, ex thing and that, in this girl's defense, because I feel like it would probably be easier to say, oh, I would never drive him there, but she probably had no idea where she was driving him to. So I feel like that's probably another issue that she didn't know. But I hope that you never spoke to him ever again. Again, you see, using mental health as a reason when it's not even real. That's the problem. Again, like, it's just like, even with the guy in the previous story saying that he's going to kill himself, but using it as leverage for the girl to stay with him. Even with this guy, making it up. Like, guys, no. So that was our first official podcast for the Anything and Everything pod by Britt, powered by none other than Evry. Thank you so much for listening or watching if you're on our YouTube channel. And I cannot wait for the next episode. Make sure you guys check out on our website, www.everyjewels.com, for your favorite jewelry. There is a sale right now, so make sure to check it out.